contemplated whether or not I even wanted to do this video. I'm going to read two quick articles to you guys. Both posted on, look, I can't even talk, shit. Both posted on May 18th of 2017. It's about Mr. Potato Head, Steve Harvey. And the first article is from the Jasmine brand. The second is from TMZ. So here's a fine ass Jasmine brand posted to her website. The title of the article is Steve Harvey's ex-wife suing for $60 million. Alleges kidnapping, murder, and child endangerment. Let me go and read this article to you. It's time to lawyer up. Steve Harvey's ex-wife, Mary Shackelford, has hit the comedian turned talk show host with a massive lawsuit. According to a report, Mary says she's now suicidal and self-medicates after losing their son and business to Steve after their divorce. She's suing for Steve for child endangerment. Maybe they meant to write she's suing Steve for. Anyway, see, I always find articles with typos. Now, I'm not saying anything stupid about Jasmine Brand, because she's fine as hell. And she's a red bone. She can do no wrong. Now, I'm just saying, though, if there's a typo, there's a typo. Now, call a Geico. And some of you hefty bitches in my comment section need to get lipo. Anyway, back to the article. She's suing for Steve for child endangerment, torture, conspiracy against rights, kidnapping, murder, breach of contract, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Damn! The oddly filed lawsuit reportedly was not filed by a lawyer, but by a woman who claims to be her civil rights activist. Last month, Mary made headlines stating in an interview that Steve owed her a serious coin. She stated, quote, Steve Harvey owes me $50 million and I want him arrested for violating my civil rights. I want him charged with a constitutional rights violation, falsifying documents, perjury, contempt of court, embezzlement, extortion, and collusion. For what he's done to me, I want to see Steve Harvey behind bars. Mary also alleged that Steve cheated on her with his current wife, Marjorie. Marjorie is a fine red bone. I don't believe it. But anyways, Mary also alleged that Steve cheated on her with his current wife, Marjorie. She also added that, quote, the judge said our divorce would be contingent upon the division of community assets, but that never happened. According to Mary, this means that the divorce is a final, quote, and Steve is married to both me and his new wife. Damn! And then they posted a couple of videos to the Jasmine Brand website. Now, the article ends off by saying Steve and Mary were married from 1996 till 2005. At the time of the marriage, he was starring in the WB sitcom The Steve Harvey Show, which aired until 2002. The couple had a son, Winston, in 1997 and ended their marriage in 2005, citing, quote, irreconcilable differences. Steve has yet to respond to the lawsuit. So there you go. That's the end of the Jasmine Brand article. Thank you very much, Jasmine Brand, with your fine ass. Man, Jasmine Brand is fine as hell. I'm sorry, I had to say it again, man. Whew. Anyway, Versace. All right, so TMZ posted the following article titled, Steve Harvey's ex-wife, you murdered my soul, pay me $60 million. Wow. So here's what TMZ wrote. Steve Harvey has caused his second ex-wife, and he's giving relationship advice. This potato-headed looking motherfucker, goddamn potato coon. Anyway, Steve Harvey has caused his second ex-wife much more than mental anguish, according to a new lawsuit she filed. He damaged her, quote, soul. Do y'all really believe in souls? Anyway, he damaged her, quote, soul, and now owes her $60 million. Mary Harvey and Steve's infamously bitter divorce was finalized back in 2005, but according to docs filed Wednesday, Mary's still feeling a slew of ill effects from their battle. She says she's been suicidal, in denial when he said it was over. No, I'm just kidding. She says she's been suicidal and self-medicates to, I'm just kidding, to medicate, see, I sound like I'm a medication. She says she's been suicidal and self-medicates to cope with their nasty breakup. The suit is rambling at times, but Mary's main point is she's emotionally and physically destroyed after losing her son, her business, and the joy of Mother's Day. As she puts it, quote, all was lost. Mary L. Harvey was dead, end quote. She's suing Steve for child endangerment, torture, conspiracy against rights, kidnapping, murder, breach of contract, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Worth noting, the document was not filed by a lawyer, but rather a woman who tells us she is Mary's, quote, civil rights activist. We've reached out to Steve's camp, no word back. So there you go. Thank you very much, TMZ, and of course the Jasmine brand. Wonderful Jasmine brand. Now that's a brand that I can support and believe in. But anyways, man, this is crazy as hell. I don't even know what to say, my Jesus. This is some next level BS right here, my Christ. You know, I just feel sorry for everybody involved, including Steve Harvey. Could you imagine if he lost his comb and all? What, his bald-headed ass doesn't own a comb? Could you imagine if Steve Harvey lost the skin on the top of his bald head? Could you imagine if he went to go pull his hair out and he just grabbed his head and just started pulling his head? I mean, that could be terrible. Could you imagine him walking around with fingerprints in that bowling ball? I mean, come on now, my Jesus. That big-ass chocolate milk dud does not need a bite out of it. You know, I don't want to see him pulling off pieces of that bald head over this. So, I mean, my Christ, I'm just feeling real bad, my Jesus. This is really terrible. Steve Harvey's too bald-headed for all this. His head is shining. He's probably sweating right now. I just feel real bad for him. Could you imagine that big bald head turn red, my Christ? But anyways, this is all my opinion. Let me know what y'all think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com for more. Follow me on Twitter at Meat Magazine, Meat Magazine 7 on Google+, Meat Magazine blog and Instagram. Be sure to hit that notification button. It's right next to the subscribe button. It looks like a bell. Once you hit that button, you'll be sent notifications. You'll be notified when when new videos get posted. Could you imagine this coon in prison, in a coon cage? His cellmate would probably be a squirrel. I mean, I just don't want to see Coon Harvey go to jail, man. I mean, that'd just be terrible. Anyways, this is all my opinion. What do I know? Meat Magazine.